turn off their mics, their cameras. And I think we're good.
All righty. Well, welcome everybody. We are going to be looking at how we can hack the grid, which is Flipgrid. And, I always have to remind myself that even though Flipgrid is pretty prevalent out there, there are educators who have not seen it. So I always like to kind of just do a quick overview of what Flipgrid is first before we get into the actual hacks. So when you log into Flipgrid in your educator console, Flipgrids are broken up into two categories. They used to be broken up into grids, but now they're called discussions. So Flipgrid isn't really grids anymore, it's flip discussions, but that just doesn't sound the same, right? So we have our groups and our topics. So under our discussions, you have a group. That could be a period in your class or your whole class in there. And then within there, you have topics. So if I jump into my topics right here, you can see that these topics are just different activities. So think of those as different activities. And then basically from there, it's just responses that your students are going to be given. You give them a prompt, you give them an activity, and they do a response back. One of the great things about Flipgrid is that when a student leaves a response, another student can reply. So it creates great community within your class. This was great in face-to-face, but this is even more important now in our remote and distance learning sessions. It's a great tool during this time of being apart. So that's basically Flipgrid in a nutshell. But we're going to be doing some above and beyond actions in Flipgrid. And again, when I hit record again on Flipgrid, I'm going to show you the different tools that are there and how we're going to hack them. So the first hack that I want to show to you is called a grid mask. Now, grid masks can be taken literally, meaning you're going to actually create a mask for your student where they can be a historical figure or an animal. Or a mask can be anything that is being overlaid on top of the video to create a different scene. So I'm going to show you some of the grid masks that I've made. You're going to record one with a grid mask, and then I'm going to show you how to make them. So this part is going to take a little bit of time, and you're going to actually have some interaction with it. So I'm going to take you to our grid mask activity. So let me give you the link to this Flipgrid. The link is found in the slide deck, but I'm also going to paste it into the chat as well. So notice at the top of my Flipgrid, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different grid masks that I have created. So I have the Daily Profit grid mask, I have a YouTube grid mask, a TikTok grid mask, a Time Magazine grid mask, and an Iron Man HUD grid mask. So someone in the chat, tell me which grid mask you would like me to put on. The Daily Profit, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Time Magazine, or the Iron Man grid mask. Daily Profit, Iron Man. Okay, we'll do both. So I'm going to show you the Iron Man. And I'm going to show you how to set this up as well once we create our masks. So I've added the link to my mask here in the Flipgrid for my students. So they click on that link and it takes them to a shared file in a Google Drive. They're going to click download. And make sure we're paying attention. I'm going to do this twice so that you can do this activity as well. So I've now downloaded this mask. It's in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. I now go back to the Flipgrid and I hit record. Now in this Flipgrid, you have effects. That's just different things you can do in the Flipgrid. You can create different filters, which we're going to use on our Daily Profit. Frames are Flipgrid's version of a grid mask. And I take great pride in knowing that in the latest update, they added that and they kind of gave a wink to me when they said that. So I kind of like that. You have your emojis, you have your text, you have your drawings, you have your board, but the thing we're definitely going to look at is our photos. So you click on Add Custom Sticker, which is a photo. That's where the Iron Man grid mask comes in. So now I just overlay it over the top, just like this. I put my face right in the middle of the frame, just like Iron Man would be there. And I hit record. 3, 2, 1. And you just look around just like it's the Iron Man grid mask. Hello, everybody. This is what it looks like to be inside Tony Stark's Iron Man suit. Isn't it great? And then you're done. So that is an Iron Man grid mask. And I create, and then you take your selfie. And then you just keep hitting next. That's what I tell my students. Just keep hitting next until it uploads. And there it goes. And so now you can see the grid mask is now uploaded right there. So I'm going to show you how I did this one more time. And once again, then I want you all to try it. And then I'm going to show you how to make this. And all of these were made from Google and a neat little online program called Pixlr. No pay for programs at all. They're all free. So I'm going to do the daily profit this time. So I'm going to select daily profit. I'm going to select the download button. And notice the reason that's checkerboarded is because there's a cutout. It's a PNG. I'm going to hit download. I'm going to go back to my Flipgrid. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to select effects. And the first thing I'm going to do, though, is grab the filters. Remember, in the daily profit, the filter is like an old-timey kind of washed out color. So I'm going to grab this one. No, not that one. There we go. That's more like a daily profit. Then I'm going to go to my effects again and grab my photo and drag the daily profit right on over. Drag it up. Students frame their face, and then they hit record. Hello, everybody. Now I'm in the daily profit. I can use this as a conclusion in my scientific reports. I can do this in my classroom to talk about things going on in the Muggle world. A great way to have students be in a different place talking about their schoolwork. And then all they do is hit next. And then, of course, you give your smile and then hit next again. And just like I tell my students, just keep hitting next until that upload button goes and hit submit. And it is there. So what I would like you to do for the next 4 to 5 minutes is I'd like you to click on that link that we paste into the chat. I'm going to paste it in there again for you. And what I'd like you to do is choose one of the 5 grid masks and then follow that same routine. Hit record, drag in your sticker, make it as big as the screen, and then hit record. And then I want to see your amazing videos start populating right here in this grid activity. Okay, 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and start right now. And feel free to ask any questions at all in the chat during this time. And Jen, is that working in the the masks work on top of Very nice. That is, I love it. I love it. Very nice. I think I'm going to start doing that too then. Appreciate it, Jen. Thanks for trying that out.
Yeah, I just dragged it in. It totally worked.
Nice. Very good. Very good. I always like figuring out a different way I can use this. That's perfect.
Yeah.
right, Christine, Beth, thank you so much. Fantastic. Kristen, very good. Andrea, thank you. Araceli, that's a great one. Right. Daryl, Olivia, Marie, thank you. Nietzsche, Brian. Look at you all doing fantastic. Great picture, Jen. All right, we're going to give you about 2 more minutes to finish up, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to make this. And it's so easy. And the idea here is that you're going to make your own as well, and then you're going to use yours to do one more. So you're using mine at the moment, but you're going to be using yours as soon as I show you how to make it. I'm going to show you how to make it 2 different ways. Love it, Brian. A family that learns together, just phenomenal. Love it. And, maybe you can ask your son what mask he wants to make. I got my little girl doing her ABCs on her tablet right next to me too. Ellery, can you say hi? Can you wave? Too busy? Okay. All right, so let me show you how we make this. Now, I'm giving you all your own practice sheet. So I'm gonna, once again, I will put the link into our chat right there. So you can practice on that sheet right here. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be on slide 2. Now I want to make a mask of a panda. Okay, so I wanna make a mask of a panda. So this is what I do. First off, you find a picture of a panda that you like. So here's a picture right here. Nice panda. He's got a big old hand. That'd be perfect to use. So all I do is click and hold, and I'm going to drag it right here, right on top of my sheet. Boom, just like this. And we want to maintain the same aspect ratio of the slide. So we're just going to drag it. Even though it's going to distort the image a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Now we want to put a shape over the mouth. Okay, so all I did is I grabbed an image, and now I'm going to put a shape over the mouth. One of my favorite shapes to use is, where is it? Right here, this one. And you want to over exaggerate the shape because you're going to have to fit your mouth right there. And then you want to put an obnoxious color. Normally people choose the obnoxious green, but to me that leaves a green outline and I don't want a green outline. So I'm just going to pick blue as my obnoxious color. But most people choose the obnoxious green screen green. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go File, Download as a PNG. That's all I do. File, Download as a PNG. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to one of my favorite sites, which is just Pixlr X. I'm going to paste that link right here in our chat also. Now watch what happens. It's pretty magical. I'm going to click on Open Image, and it is right here. So there's my panda. I want to cut out the mouth. So I click on scissors because they cut, and I wanted to do it magically. So I click on magic, and all I do is click on that blue and boom, it goes away instantly. It's gone. All I do now is hit save. Make sure you keep it saved as a PNG. There we go. So now I have saved it as a PNG. Now I'm going to go back now to the Flipgrid that we were just on. I'm going to hit record a response. And I'm going to drag over the image we just created. Sorry, I have to hit effects, photo, and then I can drag over the image we just created. I'm going to make it bigger, just like this. Now it needs to find my mouth, just like that. And there we go. Hello, everybody. I am a panda. I am found in Asia, and I eat bamboo. Hello, it's very nice to meet you. I have black and white fur, and it looks like I'm wearing a mask. Very nice to meet you. And then all we do is click next. And then, of course, you can do your panda smile. And then hit next again. Now, I'll tell you, this works phenomenally well in grades K through 3, but my 8th graders had a crazy time doing this when we were doing an activity called the History of the Atom, and they had to research J.J. Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, Democritus, just all the people involved in discovering the atom, and they removed their faces and put their mouths and gave the entire speech through their mouth. It was super fun and super easy. So that is the way to make that mask right there. The other way to make a mask is exactly the same exact way that we created the panda, except let's say this is the Harry Potter wizard one. All I did is I made a slide with all of these individual PNGs. I built the slide right up, and again, I put the obnoxious color right there. And then I did the exact same thing. I went File, Download as PNG, and it downloads it right to the side. I went to my Pixlr, and I went, and the great thing about Pixlr is you don't have to log in. There is no login. Notice I'm not logged in. I just open my image that I want to do this with. I go down and I find it. and I do the same thing. I want to cut magically out the obnoxious color. Done. And that's all I do to make these masks. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to make either a character mask, meaning the animal or historical figure, or hey, even a WWE wrestler, whatever you'd like. Either make a character mask or make a magazine or another mask with this exact same fashion. Just make it in Google Slides, put an obnoxious color that you're going to cut out, and then download it, put it into Pixlr, and there, and you know, Bob's your uncle. Boom, you're right there. So I want you to take about 5 to 10 minutes on our GridMask collaborative sheet, and I just want you to make one. I want you to try and make one. Here's a pretty good one right here. Look at that. Star Wars already. That's going to be fun. So that's what I want you to do for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Go in and make yourself your own mask. And remember, wouldn't this be a phenomenal Bitmoji classroom? You just bring in your Bitmoji things and you have that background cut out, and now you can talk in your classroom. I mean, you know, there's sky's the limit with all these things. So again, I want you to take about 5 to 10 minutes to let your creative juices start flowing and see what you can make. Ooh, Pokemon, Pikachu, very nice. Oh, that's going to be a fun one. So we have Beth in and Araceli is in. Those are fantastic. You guys are doing great. That is great. And yes, Beth, I'm going to show you exactly how you would put it into the Flipgrid like I have mine right up at the top. All right, about 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left to make your mask.
So when we're done, we're replacing what we started building in the slide with the one that we download from Pixlr. Or where are we putting that?
You're on mute, Joe.
Yeah, so you would then do the Flipgrid. So you'd whatever you got out of the Pixlr, you'd upload it to Flipgrid. Ooh, Daryl, Sports Illustrated. That's an oldie but goodie too. First issue, awesome. Brian, oh, that's a very good Ninja Lego right there. Very good job. And I'm glad nobody's done anything as disturbing as the Joe Panda. I know that's going to keep people up tonight. Keep that away from the kids. Andrea, that is a funny apple. Very good job. All right. Now, I will tell you this. I've been talking with the Flipgrid team, and I've been asking them if they could create like an upload procedure where teachers will have their very own kind of stickers, right? They would call it, I want them to call it GridMasks, right? But they'll probably call it teacher frames or something like that. But I'm asking them to have all of those ready so that you can just upload them and students can grab them when they're done. So that's what I'm asking. But for now, here's the hack around to get your masks up at the top for your students to use. So you want to create a folder in your Google Drive, and I just call it GridMasks. All you do is create a folder in your Google Drive and call it GridMasks. And in that folder, make sure you have the share link as anyone with the link can view. Anyone with the link can view. And once you have done that, you just bring in your finalized PNG. So the Panda, you'd bring that in. So again, you create a folder in Google Drive, make sure the link is anyone with the link can view. You then grab the link for the picture you want. And when you are in Flipgrid, and you are, let me go to the activity. When you are making your Flipgrid, at the very bottom, there is an option for topic attachments right here. So in your Flipgrid topic, there underneath access control, there is a thing called topic attachments. And so you click add attachment, you paste the link to the left, and then you title it whatever you want the students to see. Just like that. And so now in that GridMask activity, since I just loaded it on, you should be able to see that there is now a Panda option. So when the students click on Panda, they will see it and have the option to download it and use it. So that's where you would put all of your grid masks into that. Now, if you didn't want to put them in all individually, you could absolutely link the folder itself. But I find for the younger kids, 4th grade and below, then they don't know what to do. They don't know to click on the picture and then go to download. So by linking the file itself, it's easy to say, now click that download button. It's just easier for the younger kids. So that's why I like to do it individual file way. But if you have older students, 5th, 6th, and secondary, you can definitely just share the folder with them on the activity. So completely up to you and on the ability you think your students could do it. So I don't name, I name the file in my Google Drive, but then when I paste it into the Flipgrid, I paste the link and then it asks you to give a text for that link. And so I just put down like Panda or Iron Man. So you just have to name what it is just to make it easier for the kids to select it. So I'm going to let all that digest. I know that was a lot of information in 20 minutes. So if anybody has a question, if anybody wants to make, has a POC, a points of confusion, or you want me to make a clarifying comment, please absolutely let me know, because I want to make sure you have this down, because it is a super fun activity. Not only fun for you to create and have this imagination on what you want to create, but when your students see it, you say, now, what are you going to create? What are you going to do with this? That's the fun part. When the kids start making their own grid masks, that's when the real fun happens. All right. So this next activity in Flipgrid that I want to share is called a grid snap. If you were in my previous session this morning, I had something called a slide snap. And to me, a snap is a snapshot in learning. It's what do you know right now? Not waiting for a quiz, not waiting for an exam. It's the teacher goes, okay, let's create a snap. So in a slide snap, we created a snap in Google Slides. But this is a slide snap in Google, in Flipgrid. It's a quick, hey, tell me what you know right now. But a grid snap has lots of multimedia attached to it. So I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that you are a 7th or 8th grade teacher, English teacher, and you're having your students read The Outsiders. Well, everybody's going to read The Outsiders differently because they have very different backgrounds. People who have a background with a different socioeconomic status are going to have a very different view of the book than people who did not grow up that way. Students who resonate with characters differently. Students who are the younger kid in their family and smaller may resonate with Pony Boy. Where if they're an older student in the family who watches after his younger siblings, he may resonate with like Soda. And so there's going to be different aspects. And we want students to be able to explain how the book resonated with them. Not when the book is done, but very intermittently as the book goes across. So I worked with my English teacher in my school district. We created what's called the chapter chats. in Outsiders. And what the students had to do was every chapter in Outsiders has 0 title. It doesn't have a title. It's just chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So we had them, as you read each chapter, you need to be intentional and find instances in paragraphs and in the story on what you think the chapter should be called. So as they're reading, they're pulling out all of these different learning artifacts to be able to pitch their idea of why the chapter should be called something or the other. Now, we have the PDF version of the book, and we have the regular version of the book as well. But with the PDF version, what I have my students do is every time there is a paragraph that resonates with them, they clip it. And we use an extension called Awesome Screenshot. So this is what the students do. So as they read, they're looking down the line, they're going, oh, that paragraph resonates with me. They hit capture. They select that paragraph right here. They capture it. And then they hit download. Every time they read a paragraph that resonates with them, that's exactly what they do. And then they create a folder in their Google Drive or on their machine just called Outsiders. And then when at the end of each chapter, we do a grid snap. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go into my grid snap activity. Right over here. I'm going to hit record response, just like we did on everything else. But I'm going to have the students set up their scene first. So they go into their effects. And instead of dragging and dropping, like I said, as they're reading the story, they are pulling all of their artifacts and bringing it into a folder called Outsiders. So let's say they want to bring in the title. They have that title. Let's say they bring it in right down here. There's the Outsiders. Let's say they want to bring in the book cover. Same thing. They go into their folder. They grab their book cover. Just like this. And so watch. Then they hit record. This is where creativity comes into play, because they don't have to record all the way through. They can actually make some magic happen. So just like this. So imagine I'm a student and I'm saying, okay, so I read The Outsiders, and actually this right here. Oh, wait, I didn't hit record yet. Okay, so Mr. Marquez had me read The Outsiders, and this right here, I snap my fingers and I hit pause. And then what I do is I bring in that paragraph that resonated with me right here. They make it bigger. And then they turn on their annotation right here. And so they hit record again. So this paragraph right here really resonated with me because Daryl is somebody I truly resonate with. And then over here, this only person in the world that they cared about, that really resonates with me because I only have one person in my family I resonate with also. So they're annotating and talking at the same time. And then they snap, they pause, they can clear the entire screen, and then they can bring in more stuff as you go. And so it looks just like this when you hit play. Right, and so the students would do that, and then they would name the book, and then they hit next. They would come into the effects, and they would give the title of what they're pitching. And then as always, I tell the kids, just keep hitting next until it's there. And it pops up. Oh, it pops up right there. And then once again, one of the great things about this is you have students come in here and watch each of these videos and comment back. Now that's just one example of how we use these GridSnaps as a snapshot in learning. But this is also how we teach the students to read with intention, right? You have a reason. You're reading and you're investigating what this chapter should be called. And if your chapters are already titled, ask them what they would subtitle it. What would the subtitle of this be? This is the overarching story, but there's got to be a secondary story. What's the subtitle of this book? That is pretty important when you're doing ELA, but also it's also great for when students are doing activities, they're pulling learning artifacts out and they have to explain what they learned based on the activities that they've completed about that unit. So this could be a great culminating activity at the end as well. So I want to pause for a second there and see if there's any questions at all. All I did is I went to Google Images, and that's how I grabbed the images of the books, and that's how I grabbed the images of the title. And then, like I said, I used a extension called Awesome Screenshot to grab the screenshots of the web book. So I'll put that link for Awesome Screenshot also in the chat. There we go. And one of the great things about the Flipgrid is now the images can be moved back and forward. Before it's hit and miss. Now you can actually, with intention, move things from the front to the back, which is nice. It's not just willy-nilly anymore. Now, here's the thing with that, though. This is going to be for an older audience, right? For your older kids, because younger kids, it's going to be hard for them to find images and upload the images and put in the images. It's going to be very difficult to do all of that. So this is my recommendation to all of you who are teaching our younger learners. And it is this. I recommend doing a app smash with Flipgrid and Jamboard. This is my recommendation, because on a Jamboard, if you want to try it right down here, click on Let's Try This Activity. And this was created by Lisa Nowakowski for her Math Reps website. What you need to do is this. You can pre-put all the images on the Jamboard for your learners, so they don't have to go into Flipgrid and do it. They can put all of those images and all of those artifacts all ready to go. And then on Flipgrid, when they are doing their GridSnaps activity, let me show you what they do. So they click on Record the Flipgrid. Under Options, we've been working under Effects for a while. Under Options, they're going to select Record Screen. You start your screen recording. You're going to record the screen. Well, the kids are only going to have one screen. I have 3. So I'm going to click Record Screen. I'm going to hit Share. So it's now recording this screen. And all the students do now is, let's say the number of the day is 6. So that's the number of the day. So in word form, 6. Odd or even? Even. Represent it with the 10 blocks up here, okay? Well, we have 1, whoops, I have to grab the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're bringing all the same things that we did in the Flipgrid, but you, the teacher, can preload all of those activities on the Jamboard, and the students would be able to show you that, moving things back and forth. And when they come back to the Flipgrid, all they have to do is hit stop recording. And then you just hit next. Give you a little selfie right there. And then hit next one more time. So for the younger kids, I highly recommend doing that app smash because you don't have to worry about them finding their picture on their machine, clicking on the upload image, it just takes a while. That's for older kids. For younger kids, put it all on the Jamboard and just have them move it back and forth. Just makes it super, super simple. So I would love to pause right there and answer any questions at all that anybody has about that app smash and the reason that I did it that way rather than doing it on the Flipgrid directly. Yes, Oscar, it would definitely work with Google Draw. Absolutely. And also, Oscar, one of my favorite other tools is Google Canvas. Google Canvas, let me show you. I mean, it's basically just a big giant whiteboard, right? Bigger than Jamboard, but you can do everything that you want right here. Just click New Drawing, and it's just super easy to use, and you can bring images in and do all these cool things with it, and you can create layers on top of one another. So if you have older kids, instead of Google Draw, I would have them work in Google Canvas, but Google Draw will definitely work as well. All right, we're moving and grooving. So if nobody has any questions on that, I'd love to move to the next one. You know, I don't know, Andrea, if you can set a background in Canvas. You can have layers, so I'm sure you can. Because I have written, I've as a very, very, very superficial substitution for a teacher, I showed her how to bring in a worksheet, which hurt my heart, but it got her foot in the door to do something. So I showed her how to bring in an image of her worksheet from a PDF, and she could write on top of it. Because she said she didn't. Her response was, "I don't have my dock camera. How can I model this for my students?" So I showed her. Again, it hurt my heart. Very, very substitution model, but that's one of the things I did with the Canvas for her.
I was thinking like a graph, so the kids could graph on it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I would say Jamboard works good for that as well, right? Because you can change the background to graph paper with a click, but you can definitely bring that in into Google Canvas. It's just, Google Canvas is just so much bigger than a Jamboard, so there's so much more you can do with it, and you can save the image. You can save the Jamboard as an image, absolutely, but you can also save the Canvas as an image. Yeah, if you didn't know you can save the Jamboard as an image, yeah, you just go to the three dots and you can save the frame as an image. And that's another good hack. You can have them then upload that to Flipgrid as an image and then talk about it. So lots of cool things you can do there. All right, so I want to show this. Has anybody ever, I guess we're playing Have I Ever. Has anybody ever used Snap Camera with their Zoom? Have you used Snap Camera with your Flipgrid? That is cool. So let me show you what you do, because it's really neat. It's really neat. So in Flipgrid, right here, Oscar, that's hilarious. So in Flipgrid, once you've logged into your account right here, this flip right here, this flip is meant for tablets that have a front-facing and rear-facing camera. But on a computer, it actually flips between all your real and fake cameras. So a Snap camera is a fake camera, and you can use in this as well. And so you just flip through your different cameras. So on a computer, it's really called cycle. You can cycle through all these different cameras. So I have my Snap camera right here. and I'm gonna change my filter to an astronaut. But look, it's not changing it on my Flipgrid. So I have the astronaut here, but it's not changing it to my Flipgrid because that's not the camera that it's linked to. So all I have to do is cycle through my camera. So there's my, it's not turned on. And there's my Flipgrid. So you can cycle through all of your different cameras or fake cameras that you have on your computer. And so imagine that you're talking to your kids about space. So you can go, students, hey, you know what? The book that we're reading about outer space is awesome, but you are going to absolutely love the next one on the Knights of the Round Table. And then, of course, we're not going to forget about the Vikings because we're going to go there too. And it is going to be super cool. Now, you're going to make something in this Flipgrid that you may have just felt like you woke up in the morning, but you're going to make something that is completely money. And understand, you may not know how to use these tools yet, but everybody starts off in a little before. So just keep doing what you're doing, and then you hit stop, and then next. And so I wouldn't tell your kids to get Snap Camera because it is a downloadable program they would have to put on their own device. Students can download it if they ask their parents, and that's what they want to do, but I would not recommend asking them to. But you, the teacher, can, yeah, oh, sorry, my daughter sees this Batman one that she absolutely loves. You can be the teacher who does these things as an intro to your students, right? As that hook. You like Batman? I know. So the Snap Camera addition right into your Flipgrid is fantastic. And I wanted to show that, not just because it's cool, but because a lot of people don't know that that little flip icon on Flipgrid, that little switch, it just means cycle through your cameras. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do now with that. So I want to pause right there and ask if you have any questions at all on anything at all that we have showed up to this point. And if you want to unmute your microphone and talk as well, absolutely. And because I want to leave these last 5 minutes for that question and answer time. Or it's also been a very long day for many of you. So if you want to go and just have find the mole that you want to whack later on, you can definitely do that also. Yes. So Beth, I will absolutely show the camera toggle again. So I'm going to turn on my camera just so you can see when that cycles through that you can see what the camera looks like. All right, so I'm going to hit the record button right here. And this flip icon right here just means when you're working on your regular computer, it means cycle through your cameras. That includes your dock camera as well. So you can cycle to your face camera to talk to the students, hit that flip, it'll go to your document camera and you can model something for them, hit the flip again, and it'll take you right back to your face camera. So as I hit flip, here's my app right here. And then if I hit flip again, here is my Snap Camera one as well. So there's just a lot of cool things that you can do in Flipgrid that a lot of people didn't know you can do just by clicking that flip button. It kind of just gives another level, another layer of what you can do as an educator in Flipgrid.
I got autofilled to bot.
Several people are wondering if this works on mobile devices like iPads.
It does, yeah. So if you were on the iPad, it would flip between the front camera and the back camera. So you can do a face recording and then hit that flip and then do a real world recording and then hit flip again and come back to you again. So it'll definitely do that. Marie, the camera is separate from the snap camera. And I tried to do an app smash within an app smash within an app smash where I would use the snap camera as my camera. It didn't work. But there is another virtual camera called, oh, what is it called? It's called the Hypermeet. Hypermeet, which gives you kind of like a Bitmoji head. So that will work through if you wanted it to. And Hypermeet, as far as I know, and then when the Bitmoji or when the snap camera messes up, it gives you that yellow icon every once in a while. But yeah, if you did Hypermeet turns your head into a Bitmoji head, where you can move it around and your expressions follow it. It's like a cartoon head. It's pretty, and just overlays on top of you. It's pretty fun, but I prefer the snap camera. But you just, so there's that Hypermeet. That's what it looks like. So those characters, you can weave in different things. It's just another layer you can add to the fun. And these all work in Zoom also. That you don't have to think they just work in Flipgrid. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And when I open up my Zoom here, it all works here in Zoom as well. And if I wanted to, I can switch in my Zoom from my snap to my with just a click of a button all the way through. So it's pretty simple. You do need a higher end machine though, because it will start slowing down the experience. So there's the Hypermeet right there. But I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today. If you attended the keynotes and then all the sessions today, I just want to say thank you so much for what you're doing for your students and for yourself and for your community. You know, I just look up to each and every one of you just for the hard work that you're putting in. And any way that I can help, please, I don't like to say help, I like to collaborate. So any way I can collaborate with you, if you ever need any collaboration at all, please feel free to reach out. Never hesitate. Don't think you're going to bother me. Tweet me, email me. I mean, my phone number is probably there somewhere too. Call me. I don't care. But if there's anything I can do to collaborate with you on any successes, please feel free to reach out, because all we're here to do is to change change the lives of kids. And if I can be a part of that through you, I'll do that also. But thank you so much. And just have a phenomenal Saturday, or as I like to call it, Saturday Ratterday.
Well, thanks so much, Joe. And everybody remember to head back to the bridge for the raffle, get some cool prizes. And you know, Joe, you can win too, so you never know.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the